Anyway, so I have been doing lots of testing on this disk drive, which is now turned so you can better admire it. Once again, is it perfect? In terms of mechanically speaking, yeah, I think it is. It responds, it copies, it backs up. It's just dandy. If I had a 2031 performance test, I might run on it, but you know what, I'm confident this is fine. It really is. I wish the scratching of the name of the school board wasn't on there, but it is. I may look for it. I know there's a scratch on the top, and there's little itty-bitty things, but it really is mighty fine. So, now of course, I have to figure out, where do I go from here? Do I continue to hoard, or not? Or do I keep the T-Pug mailroom one that I got years ago to copy, or do I use this to copy? I am tempted because, you know, there's a lot of collectors out there. The T-Pug mailroom one has some writing on it. I don't even know. I don't think it's my writing. It's on stickers. I could clean all that up. But certainly the outer case would need a lot more attention, maybe even complete restoration and painting. Maybe. So, I deem this drive healthy. I deem this drive happy. And now I have to sort out what I'm going to do with it. It is made in the USA. Not an incredibly low serial number. The one thing that actually is now, just to complicate matters, because it says 2040, and I don't believe I have one that says 2040. Maybe it's a candidate to keep in the collection and sort out something else. But then again, I mean, these are the things that go through my mind and torment me. What do I do now? I'm not sure. But it works. If you watch the series of videos of me sort of testing it and close-ups inside, you'll have an insight as to how these things work and how cool it is to watch them. I suppose in a way the only thing that would make these drives cooler, and I have not ever done it, but with all these air things going, or ventilation holes, it would be cool if there was a light inside. I don't know what color. I don't know how many. I don't know if it would be LEDs. Probably LEDs. It would be cool. And then really they would glow in the dark. Is that necessary? No. Is that practical? No. Does it really matter? No. Here we have a working drive. Got on the day, December 1st, 2018, the day of the World of Commodore. Held in Mississauga, Ontario, at the Admiral Inn. By the way, if you're still around, there is stuff happening tomorrow. I don't know the timing. Look, just Google World of Commodore 2018. You can find the details. I don't think I'm going to make it back there. It's a long way from Markham. But keep it on your calendar for next year. It's the first weekend in December at the Admiral Inn in Mississauga, in the basement. And you never know who you'll find there. You never know what you'll see there. You never know what will be on the deal table, which is, of course, free. And, you know, if you troll around the internet, who knows, you might find somebody who is selling something that you want, and the World of Commodore show is certainly a place that some people who find each other elsewhere, even in the world, might find each other there to trade stuff or to buy, sell, marvel at, I spent a lot of time today sitting at a table. This rather genius fellow was there. He does all kinds of little adaptations on the PET. And so he had this machine there, quite wonderful. Well, two of them. One of them was an 8032 that he had made a board for, and other things that if you wanted to go from 40 to 80 columns, you just pressed Escape X. And if you were in 40 column mode, it would go to 80. And if it was in 80 column mode, it would go to 40. It's brilliant. Brilliant. And I believe he's going to start making and selling these things. I believe. And what else? What else did he have there? Just let me look here. Right. Steve Gray is his name. STEVEGRAY.CA, I am told. I've not been to his website. He's done all kinds of cool things over the years. Remarkable. He made a color PET. Stuck disk drives in one of the Porsche style, like the disk drives were supposed to be in there, or some of them had them in there, but he did. Anyway, he does remarkable things. He's now working on, where he's made these things, they are ROMs for the PET with switches. So basically it's one chip, it replaces the ROM, but there are 16 different ROMs there, in there, that you can flip and switch around. And I can't begin to do justice to all the variations and things that he has there. But the unfortunate thing is, in the middle of all this, that PET stopped working. So we sat there and we talked, and he thought the monitor had died. And I said, well, I don't know. You know, it's funny, just because the other day I had a SuperPET here. It made the right sound, just like his was doing, but nothing came up on the monitor. And my note told me that I had indeed hooked this machine up to another monitor, and I'd hooked the monitor up to another machine, because you can do that, the cord is typically long enough, and things came up. So it was not the monitor, it was something on the motherboard. So he, having his other machine right next to it, we slid them together, moved some of his accessories, and were able to determine that indeed the monitor on his multi-ROM magical machine was fine. Something else was not right. So there was another brilliant fellow there. He wanted to get out his oscilloscope and start doing things. Anyway, together all the chips in sockets were reseated. He mentioned that the white sockets in the PETs are pretty terrible. But anyway, it did not come back. There was a little green, not just a dot, but a square, almost like the screen had been compressed. And it was all trying to be displayed inside of like 1 pixel. So it has not been resolved, but it did sound an awful lot like what was going on with the SuperPET I had here. So, do I have an answer for him? No. I don't at the moment. But I will ponder, and as I go through things, maybe I will come up with a solution, or maybe he will, or between he and I and the other, we will come up with something. By the way, if anybody knows what causes this on a PET, not just a round dot, but almost like the screen is compressed inside of 1 pixel. Not 1 pixel. 1 character, the size of 1 character. Any comments would be greatly appreciated, and I'm sure if you went to STEVEGRAY.CA, he would appreciate hearing from you. I will continue to tinker, and I will continue to rejoice at this disk drive, and I still have many things in the car from the World of Commodore show to look at. I'm just not sure I'm awake enough to do it at this time. I shouldn't leave them in the car. I should bring them in. But then, of course, I'll start to fill up the floor that I just cleared out here. I think it is time for me to probably decide to retire for the night, deal with the car in the morning. It's going to be warmer up here. I've got things to do outside, and I have some things to ship here and there, but I should bring the things in and get them tucked away at least, so the car is not full of stuff, and continue on the SX64 project and figure out what I'm going to do with this drive. And yeah. So, thank you to T-Pipe for putting on the World of Commodore. It was always a great event, and it's still, even though it's much smaller, with a much more focused, dedicated clientele, it's great. I'm sure there are other vintage clubs that, get together and do things, I think. And if you're seeing this and saying, yeah, our Apple group does that, pass it on, because, we're all in this together. We even have some processors that are common to us all. So, next year I will go to the World of Commodore. I'm hoping, really, I'm hoping that I have some boxes of stuff to take into the deal table to pass on to others, rather than me just gathering things out. I'm hoping. Do I really think that's going to happen? No, not a chance. But I am hoping. So, what am I going to do now? I'm going to put the screws, well, they're more like bolts with screw heads. I'm going to put this back in, lock up this drive, and then ponder what to do with it. So, thank you for coming. Until we meet again, I remain David Bradley. Bye for now.